You're coming into this fight, a 4-fight win streak, an excellent performance against Anthony Smith. What is the biggest factor in terms of what has allowed you to remain so consistent at the top of this division for so long?
We gotta learn it. We gotta evolve with the sport. The sport is evolving. You know, it's getting better and better, and you know, just gotta listen and get the help that you need.
You talked about how the camp in preparation for Anthony Smith was just excellent, and you felt like that really affected your performance in the fight. What are some of the specific things that you did to prepare for Thiago?
You know, just I tried to do the same thing I did it for Anthony Smith. You know, we never do the same thing. Every day is different, but you know, trying to follow up with the same training regimen, you know, and follow the PI, follow the diet, you know, keep the weight down, and see what happens.
He's a very explosive guy, likes to throw a lot of kicks. What is it about your game, though, that you think will give him the most trouble?
Keep the pressure, and my game is one of the things. He got to be ready for everything, because I can go on the ground, I can stand up and strike, and he better be ready.
Earlier this week, Dana mentioned that it will likely be Israel Adesanya who actually faces Jan Blachowicz next for that light heavyweight title. What was your reaction to that news, and did it affect how you saw this fight at all?
No, you know, I keep focused on this fight. This is what I want to do. I want to fight, and I want to do a good performance like I did it last time. And you know, it is what it is. This fight, I only focus what I can control.
Yeah. You're a veteran of this game. You've been in there a million times, but I'm sure you still envision, you know, what the fight will play out like. How do you see yourself getting your hand raised tomorrow night?
I know, just keep the pressure, man. Keep the fight going, and I'm very confident that I'm gonna finish him later in the third or fourth round.
Dustin Poirier came out and he said, and he tagged Dana White, this was a tweet, and said, "Quit playing games, send the correct contract." What does that mean? Genuine question. If anybody's got an answer, tell me. I want to hear, because it's the word correct that threw me off, right? If the word correct wasn't in there, well, we know what it says. Dana White, quit playing games, send the contract. Okay, that sounds like a fax machine issue. That sounds like a secretarial issue, an administrative overlooked. Somebody was busy. He said the correct contract. So, what was wrong with the contract? Was the date wrong? Was the name wrong? Or was the amount wrong, right? And that's the first place my mind went. I mean, I just defaulted right to the dollar amount. This wasn't what was agreed upon, or this isn't what he wanted. I don't know. But that doesn't make me right. I don't know. And that match, I mean, we're getting closer to it, and it seems like that's all but done. I mean, look, Dana said they're going to fight, but it wasn't as simple as that. Dana even said, I remember he was on ESPN, he talked all about this. He said, we gave Conor his own date. Now, that's very similar to what they had done a year prior, this year, for Conor versus Cowboy. There was no show scheduled in January. Conor comes out of nowhere, says, I'm going to get my license and I want to fight. They go into scramble mode, make a fight. Conor Mania was real. I want to say it did like the 4th biggest gate in MMA history. First 3 all held by Conor McGregor. I mean, it was a very real thing and it worked out. But when Dana comes out and adds to the story, we're going to give him his own date. Well, now you kind of got to use him, right? It's a little bit different. You got a show schedule. I mean, we see that all the time. We've seen that as recently as this week. We'll see it within the next week. Some card somewhere, somebody moves, okay, shuffle the deck. Just the industry. It's the way that it goes. When you pick a date exclusively for a guy, in this case Conor McGregor, who exclusively wants and has agreed to fight Dustin Poirier. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the word correct means. It sounds as though Dana wants that match, is going to do that match, exemplified by the fact that he added a date just for the match. So what part of the contract was wrong? I'm just curious. Am I making something out of nothing? Maybe a little bit, but it was a tweet that went out to the world in 160 characters or less, and I don't know what it means.
That's one of Thiago Santos' strongest attributes, is that he's so mentally strong, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way that he grew up, where he grew up, how he grew up. You know, I guess I'm getting off topic a little bit here, but when
No, please.
when Thiago and I see each other, there's it's an embrace because of what we did to each other in our fight. It was pretty crazy. So there's a lot of respect there, and I do like that guy a lot. But when you look at him in the eyes, he's a little bit dead on the inside. He really is. And a lot of that is just life experience and who he is as a person, and that translates to the octagon. I think a lot of people out there, a lot of listeners, seen both of my fights with both of those guys. And if you guys were to pick which one I'd rather fight again, you'd probably get it wrong, because I'll tell you that if I had to choose, I would fight Glover Teixeira every single time over fighting Thiago Santos again.
What about fighting him surprised you? You had seen him on tape, you had seen what he could do, but when you're actually in there, what surprised you about his style that we fans might not have picked up on?
His speed, and again, that does sound so basic, but there's no wind-up. You know, if you go back and you watch Thiago fight, it's one thing to be fast. It's another thing to be fast with no twitch before. When he hit me with the spinning heel kick, that's when I first realized. I mean, before that, he hit me with a couple leg kicks. And I remember thinking, like, oh, man, like, those are fast. Then he hit me with another one, like, uh-oh, this is a problem because I can't see them coming. And then when he hit me with the spinning wheel kick, I didn't even know what he hit me with. He spun so fast with no wind-up. By the time it hit me, I didn't even realize he had spun. I had no idea what he hit me with. And then you can see in the video, I back up and I kind of look around like it was definitely a hard shot. I wasn't rocked. I was confused because I didn't know what that was. And the problem with that is with the injuries, as he's aging, with the time off, is he going to be that fast? And, and him and I fought, that was at 185. So he's a little lighter, he's a little more agile. He wasn't carrying as much weight as he is now. So I just remember being so shocked at how fast he was. And he doesn't get up or down or, it's just he's constant savage. It's just you can see in his eyes that everything he throws is with a crazy amount of power. There's not a whole lot of set-up shots. He doesn't feint a lot. It's basic but extremely effective.
What's bigger, Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya, or Thiago Santos versus Jan Blachowicz and Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya combined?
I think Adesanya versus Blachowicz, even though we're not super stoked on it, just because we've already seen Whittaker, that's the reason. If we hadn't seen that fight before, then I think, the point that you made of the two fights makes more sense, and it helps develop the divisions. It's just the only hiccup in it is that we have seen Whittaker, and, it was pretty one-sided. Izzy really kind of demolished him, and it doesn't mean that the second fight can't be different, or that Whittaker could maybe even go out there and win. But it is a fight we've already seen, so I'm more interested in this super fight.
I'm going the other way. I think the two fights combined are better than the one super fight. But I will give you this: the super fight.
But then you're taking John Jones kind of out. I guess that's my other thing.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Like, you've now taken the lure of the potential John Jones fight completely out of the equation.
Right. The reason I'm excited in the super fight is that if Adesanya does win, I'm really excited to see him potentially fight John Jones. So there's like that added bonus, when you talk about how everything plays out, that John Jones will have the vested interest. If this super fight happens, it will be more interesting, and it adds credibility. If Blachowicz does win, it adds even that much more interest, because John Jones and Israel Adesanya kind of have this similar patient striking style. So then I'm buying into the idea that Blachowicz could beat John Jones. Like, I'm buying into it more than I would be before I see this fight with Adesanya. So either way, I feel like it works out, and Adesanya can go back down because Whittaker doesn't want to fight right now anyways. So it's not like Adesanya going back down. He's not like he's going to turn around and fight on the New Year's card. Whittaker said, I'm out for the rest of the year. I want to spend Christmas with my family. I have got the birth of my son coming in January. And then, early spring, I'll be ready to go. What's Adesanya supposed to do until then? Who else is he going to fight?
Jessica Evil Eye going to be fighting Joanne Calderwood. Tell me about this. How, the smile on your face is like you're trying to eat your own head, which is awesome. Seeing you this excited is great. How does it feel to actually have a fight and a date and an opponent in front of you?
It's great because it's 15 weeks out, right? And it's something to look forward to. Even still in this, I know what the problem is, right? I have been diagnosed. I have a diagnosis. I know what everything is. I'm not in danger to take a fight, but it's almost like inspiring me to even be better with my food and more direct with it, right? We've already missed weight twice. So obviously, me moving forward, finding all the foods that were messing with me, I won't have that problem. But I can kind of, show people that I was sick, and I can't wait to show people how good I really am, and against somebody else who has also missed weight in fights, and then also had the audacity to call me out and be mean to me whenever she had missed weight herself. So it's like, this is going to be fun. Me and JoJo have had a lot of beef back and forth. And I think you seen what happened when what happened last time a girl tried to bully me in the octagon. I put her to sleep. So maybe this will be one of those times that I can come back out and just show people how really great I am against the opponent who pisses me off.